Nah. Alrighty, gonna be doing a little couple different cooks. Wanted to try out some stuff with doing live on YouTube and mix it up a little bit instead of doing Instagram. So wanted to do this. We'll see how this goes. I want to get this a few more minutes, get some more people in here. Alright, doing a double live at the moment, so I have put the link to this YouTube. I'm going to try a YouTube live, see how it goes, have a couple things to cook. Going to do some lobster tails, going to do some salmon collars. So I put the link up above. I should probably pin that. So I pinned that comment. I'm going to put that up in the stories. So definitely go click on that. I'm going to try and do a YouTube live. Mix it up, see how it goes. YouTube lives, I'm going to do a little bit better job. Check it out. On that YouTube live, I am going to be cooking lobster tails on the griddle and also some salmon collars, and just kind of give you kind of like a behind the scenes of craziness. We'll kind of show you the cook as well, so we'll see how it goes. Kind of go from there. I want to give it a try. I want to try for a while. Not doing longer YouTube videos. It's really hard to stick to content. Live and have all of that stuff live, so longer, and then get that there. So go check out that YouTube live. I'm going to go put it up in my story. Head on over to YouTube. Check that out. We'll be cooking up some stuff on YouTube, and then we'll be on YouTube. And I, of course, will have this, share it on YouTube so here, I'll check it out later. And again, I appreciate all the support, everyone. Be sure to go check out all the videos. Like, comment, share, all that good stuff. Here, check out YouTube. Catch you guys there. Alright everyone, we're going to get started in just a minute here. I know there's not a lot of people here. That's okay. Didn't expect a lot of people on this first one. That's okay. Just kind of sharing this to Instagram, sharing it to some different people, kind of seeing how it goes, get it out there, and we'll kind of go from there, and then we will see what happens. So, anyway, so a little bit of the setup here, what I got going on. So this is kind of where I do most of my prep. So we got all our ingredients here. We got some butter for our lobster tails, really simple. We have our salmon collars. We're gonna do those first. We have a couple lobster tails from SRF. They work with a seafood distributor. Here's those salmon and sable king salmon collars. These are like fish wings, really delicious. If you haven't had these before, definitely recommend it. Check it out. Not using the meter on any of these cooks just because these are hot and fast, so just going to be using a thermopen just to get that quick temperature, because meter doesn't have a quick read yet. I wish they did, but usually for that I would use meter. Have my Messermeister knife, of course, have a cutting board, and we'll kind of talk through what that's going on. And then, of course, while I am doing this, I am going to be recording on my phone as well. So you can see my phone's over here. So I'm gonna record on my phone over here and hopefully get the live content and give you guys kind of a behind the scenes, but also at the same time, I'm trying to capture some of this content that I can put up in shorts and some of that other stuff. So this is kind of a little bit behind the scenes, of that craziness, how all of this works, and kind of what I do when you see this stuff. So just trying to position this camera a little bit without affecting your view too much, and we will get that started. All right, so we got that set up there. I'm gonna pick up the tripod carefully. We're gonna get a lot of moving today. So we're gonna be cooking this on the Flatrock right here. So Traeger's griddle, love this thing. It is actually on sale this weekend for $100 off. What I'm gonna do, turn on the gas propane, super easy. Turn on the power in the back, can never reach it from this side. Okay, got our gauge, shows how full our propane tank is. I just put a new one in, so that's great. Pretty clean. I try and clean it about after every cook or so. Just make sure it's kind of nice. Do a deeper clean every few cooks. So for the lobster tails, we're going to go kind of a hotter temp. The salmon collars, about a hotter temp, so we're going to probably go medium-high. I'm not going to go high because I probably don't want to burn them too much, so we're going to get this Flatrock going, get this warmed up. There we go. Switch it over, medium-high. Let that get nice and hot. And then, of course, we'll get that. So let's get back to our prep and give you that kind of view. Okay. Backyard is kind of crazy because I got toddlers. So there we go. So we have our view of our little prep area. As you can see, we're going to do the salmon collars first. I got some Traeger original Japanese barbecue sauce. Love this stuff. I've been using a lot of rice vinegar lately in my cooks. Just adds a really nice flavor to everything, brings it out. It's great. So we're going to get set up. We're going to use those two. We're going to marinate it a little bit in the Cambro. This is going to be a little bit quicker. We're only going to probably marinate this for about 10-15 minutes or so. You could definitely go longer, go a couple hours on that, get some richer flavor. But still, that shorter marinade will give that salmon some great flavor. So let's get that set up and dive into that. We're not going to need the knife right now. We'll put those out. So there's our salmon collars, as you can see. King salmon from Salmon and Sable. This is great. We have our marinade ingredients. I'm going to actually run inside and grab a couple more things really quick. Got some gloves, minimize the mess, of course. All right, I'm back. All right, so just wanted to go inside, grab the Smashin' Salmon. It's a miso soy shiitake blend from Spiceology, their Hell's Kitchen collaboration blend. It's great. I really like to use this on seafood. Works out really well. Got my extreme whisk here from the toddlers. It's funny, I stole it from them. Works out really well. Have my camera set up over here. You can't see it, but so I'm getting a camera angle that I'm going to capture on this. So here we have our salmon collars again, if you're just jumping on. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to start to make this simple marinade. And then we will let them marinate a little bit, and then we will jump into the lobster tails. All right, so just checking my camera over here and getting this set up so you can't really see it too much. But what I'm doing over on this side here is I am getting that camera set up. That's on that little tripod over there. So I can capture this all, and later on I can edit that, and I can make the shorts. I can make the Facebook reels, I can make the Instagram videos, all that good stuff. So usually I shoot from one of these two angles. Again, just trying to capture as much as possible, and kind of the biggest thing I find when I cook is I just want to get as much content as possible. My life's crazy with the toddlers and just doing a lot of stuff. So when I cook, I really want to make sure that I'm doing my best to get the best content possible. Not always the case. If you're just starting out, it doesn't always happen, so don't worry about that. But, you know, definitely taking a couple extra minutes, kind of trying to figure out where everything goes, laying it out nicely will definitely help, and you'll definitely see a big improvement in your content. So what I'm looking for in this shot, I know you can't really see or just hearing me talk, is for this angle, I kind of want people when they see the video to see those salmon collars, because they'll grab your attention because they're different. It's a different kind of cut. And then you'll be able to also see me making this marinade. So let's go ahead. Let's open up the salmon collars so you can see these. They are awesome. And again, some people comment, sometimes I wear gloves, sometimes I don't. It just kind of depends on what kind of mood I'm in, what kind of food I'm prepping. Spicy food, definitely try and wear gloves so I don't have to wash my hands as carefully. So we got these salmon collars. These are awesome. I'm going to take these out of the bag. These are going to be some great eats. If you have not seen salmon collars before, definitely try and find them. I would definitely ask your local butcher that has a good selection of fish products. But these are also known as kind of fish wings, if you will. So I've done these on Wing Wednesday and kind of posted about these there. So you can see I will get the last one out, and then we will talk about it, and then we'll get rolling with our prep. All right, so I'm going to set this aside. Okay, so we got our salmon collar. So you can see, obviously, got the wings. That's kind of a wing. They fly. Got our nice king salmon. Great color on it. We don't need to worry about trimming any of this off. It's fine. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to marinate this in those 3 ingredients. I'll run through them again. We're going to do that for we're only going to do about 10-15 minutes. You could definitely go longer, let that flavor get longer. Then we're going to go ahead. We're going to throw this on the griddle, nice and hot, a few minutes each side. Take it to about 135, 130-ish, right around there, and then pull them off, and they're going to be delicious. So, if you're just jumping on, appreciate you checking out the live. It means a ton. So as you can see, I'm kind of just setting up for the other side my camera so I can capture it. So not only doing the live, but also at the same time making sure that I'm getting some content that I can use later on. And of course, this live will be available. I will put that up so you can access that. And of course, if you're not subscribed to the channel, definitely subscribe. I appreciate all the support. Check out the Instagram. Check out all that good stuff. Lots of old content. And of course, if you have questions, always reach out. Happy to help out in any way I can. All right. So, there we go. We got that camera set up. Appreciate everyone jumping on. So, as you can see, we got our salmon collars right there. Going to be great. We're going to marinate with our smashed salmon seasoning, vinegar, our tribachons, put it in that Cambro, let it kind of marinate, get some good flavor in there, and then we will go from there. So, let's get the other camera rolling, and let's make some seasoning. Smashed salmon. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it. You can kind of just play around with what you want. Again, it's kind of a personal preference to your flavors. You know, what I always recommend is experiment, try out different things, see what works, what doesn't work. If something, you know, it tastes a little bit too acidic, you know, maybe a little bit less lemon, a little bit less lime. If you're having something too sweet, definitely try and get some more salt content in there. Soy sauce, Worcestershire sauce, some of that stuff can help. So there's our Japanese barbecue sauce. Love this stuff. Comes in a lot of different flavors. Really great product. So I'm going to add quite a bit of this. This will add a nice pop of flavor. And with that rice wine vinegar and with that smashing salmon, we'll add some great flavors. So, all right. Going to go ahead. I'm going to mix this all up. Just going to give that a quick little whisk, mixing that up all together all nice. And then we will go ahead, not a lot of liquid. You can see we'll probably just kind of rotate those salmon collars a little bit in there. We're just looking to give some nice pop of flavor. We'll kind of go from there. Yeah, it's kind of right about where I need it. The Thisjewcanque is kind of more that sweeter kind of teriyaki sauce flavor that rice wine vinegar is providing a little bit, contrasting that flavor, which will be nice, and then a little bit of that smashed salmon just to get in there. I'm going to call it and say this is great. Go from there. So next, we're going to load up our Cambro with our salmon collar. So again, flying in, I'm going to go meat side down. Just kind of get more of that meat exposed. And again, we'll kind of check in and on this Cambro, and we will make sure to rotate those flavors through and get some different stuff. So there you go with our salmon collars. That's our first little prep done. So again, super simple, nothing super fancy with this. Again, those simple flavors are going to work really great. Again, we'll kind of rotate through, but you can kind of see we're just going to shake it around a little bit. Let those just sit in there and work out nicely. Again, you could go up to a couple hours on this. You could definitely, if you're in a bind, 30 minutes, will definitely do the trick. You don't need to be going too long on there. So yeah, on my other camera right now, I'm just getting some footage so I can later on use this for some shorts, reels, all that good stuff. And again, if you're new to content creation and you're trying to do stuff like this, definitely just take a lot of video, take a lot of stuff. You might not use it all, but it's always good to have more video than what you think you might need. So our salmon collars are done. Again, if you're just jumping on, smashing salmon, got our rice wine vinegar, our original Japanese barbecue sauce from Bachan's. Got that in there, got that in the Cambro. We're just going to let that sit. And I'm going to go throw this in the fridge real quick. It'll be fine sitting out here, but I'm just going to go throw that in the fridge real quick. And then I'm going to be back, and then we're going to prep these lobster tails. That'll be super simple, and then we're going to see what we can do. All right, let's see what's going on. We have a couple people, that's great. All right. Pat, appreciate you tuning in. So again, just trying this out. What I'm trying to do is, I know a lot of people always have questions about the behind the scenes, what it kind of looks like, what's going on when I do, spin it around so you can see me. Sorry, it has the capture on the side where I have the clamp on the camera. But yeah, so just trying to get some of that behind the scenes content because people kind of want to see the full process, opening up everything, seasoning it, throwing it on the grill, so kind of have that for you. And then I'm going to also have some content where it's just kind of trimmed down and what you're used to seeing. But if you're not subscribed to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel, be sure to spread the word, and be sure to check out the Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. But let's flip it around. And let's get some lobster tails rocking and rolling. So, we got our cutting board. I'm going to go ahead. I am going to just wipe this off real quick inside. Don't have to worry too much about cross-contamination because we're doing seafood. So I'm not too worried, but just to be safe, I'm going to go ahead, just do a quick little rinse on it and make it all pretty. All right. So, next we're going to do some lobster tails. Super excited. You can prep these a few different ways. I'm going to show you how we're going to prep these. Sorry, I was just playing around with some settings, seeing what we can kind of see, what we can kind of do with some of this stuff. All right, so that's here. So, lobster tails. Super simple. Always make for a great feast. I'm going to go ahead and close that door. The dog goes in the garage. So, there's a couple different ways that I usually like to prep these. Today, what I'm going to do to prep these is I am going to cut them in half. And then I'm going to put them meat side down on the griddle. And again, we're looking for about that 130 to 135. I know they sometimes recommend to cook them a little bit longer. I don't want to overcook this, so I'm going to take it just to that temperature. So let's go ahead. Let's rip in. So we got our lobster tails. There we go. Get out our meter scissors. You might just rip this right open. Cut it. It's got these beautiful lobster tails, Snake River. Go ahead, put these down on the cutting board here. This would be a great one for Father's Day. Super simple, not too hard to do. So there we go. And again, what we're gonna do with these is we're just gonna cut these in half. So we're gonna take our knife and we're just gonna basically go down the middle. We can either kind of flip it over and go from here. That's probably gonna be the easiest. You could also go from up here, but what we'll probably do is just flip them over, as you can see. Kind of nice, we see right there. And then we will cut those in half. So if you're just jumping on, again, on the side you can't see, I'm just capturing some footage of this cook. Just trying to get some content, so you know, not only will there be that live, but we'll also have just some more content for later on to use across all the channels. So, just trying to do something fun, different with our content. Again, if you're working on content creation, just play around with stuff. Always try new things. Have some fun with it. Try out some new things. Try different things. All right, okay, let's prep these. So, got my video rolling on this other side. Gonna get the camera set up and positioned kind of the way I need it. Make sure I have it rolling. I like to shoot in 4K. Definitely makes for some nice sharp content, lots of clarity. So, there we go. Lobster tails, you can see, and then we're gonna flip them over, we're gonna cut them, and then we're gonna melt some butter and a little bit of lemon, and we're gonna go on the griddle, and we're just gonna cook these pretty much just hot and fast until they get a nice cook on them, and then we'll get them back on the cutting board and go from there. So let's get these prepped. Checking to see if we need to remove anything on the bottom. I think I'm actually going to go from the top on these. I'm just going to go from the top. Nice sharp knife helps. I love my Messermeister knife. Works great. Got through the shell. And we're just making sure we have kind of a nice clean cut. And there we go. So, not too hard. Again, you know, I'm in Colorado, a landlocked state. We don't have a lot of seafood always. And then go ahead, clean this out with any of that kind of schmutz that might be in there. Sometimes lobster has that, you know, it's okay. Not a big deal. So get that one out of there. Double check to make sure since we cut it, we're getting rid of the shell, not having any of the extra shell or any of that stuff in there. So just cleaning out that a little bit. And again, if you're not big into the prep, some butchers will prep this for you and will do this for you when you buy your seafood. So that is definitely an option that you can explore. So just getting that a little bit. Okay. And let's stop it. We'll go again. Okay, on to number 2. So we're just going to repeat. Just going to kind of give it a little start. And then let's try this one like this. As you can see, you know, I'm not an expert at this by any means. I'm definitely trying it out as I go, seeing what happens. You know, kind of just experimenting. So, there we go. And kind of repeat to see if there's anything we kind of need to clean out. That one looks pretty good. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to go meat side down on these on the grill over there, and then we will just drizzle them with a little lemon and butter, and then we will go from there. So let's leave those there. I'll be right back, get some tongs, make sure we're all set, and then we will go from there. All right, we're gonna get these over to the griddle. Get these set up and ready, so there we go. All right, so let's prep our lemon. Okay, and usually what we'll do is we'll probably rinse these off a little bit too. That's actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rinse this off because when I broke it, get some of that shell a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead, rinse these off real quick, and then in the meantime, we'll prepare our lemon butter, and then we'll go from there. All right, so lobster's always better with butter. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna use about a half stick of butter. Griddle's great. I'm just gonna throw this right on the griddle, let this just kind of melt. And again, you can kind of play around, you know, you can use all sorts of different seasonings, all of that fun stuff with it. So we got some butter. Got some limes, or lemons, sorry. So we're gonna do a little bit of lemon juice. Just get that in there. And then that will go on the griddle. We'll start to get that all melted. And then we were gonna cook these lobster tails meat side down, and we're gonna go for about My guess is they'll probably only take about 5 minutes or so, maybe 6 minutes. So turn it around for you. So now we're here. And again, if you're just jumping on, wanted to, do a little something a little different, live cooking is going to be a little disjointed because there's a lot of stuff that pops up during it. The prep I might have forgotten something. Something might not be at the right temperature, but I still wanted you to kind of see that whole process of kind of what I do when I start and kind of go through that. So as you saw, we started out with the salmon collars. We just prepped those lobster tails. You can see sometimes the prep doesn't go perfect. A lot of times you see on Instagram that perfect cut. You see, that going through really easy. It doesn't always happen, So sometimes you kind of have to work with what you have. Just kind of stick with it and go with it and really do your best. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to melt our butter and a little bit of lemon. We're going to put our lobster tails down. And then we're going to get those. We'll get a plate. We'll kind of plate them up all kind of nice. Kind of show you a finished plating. And then we will get those and go from there. All right, so off to the camera, you can't see, but off to this side down here, I have the lobster tails ready. Got to add a plate for our finished lobster. We got our butter and our lemon. We're just going to go ahead. We're just going to throw that on the grill, let that get warm, let it melt up. Use that griddle heat, get that nice and hot. And of course, gotta always capture that content. So I got my phone here. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna get this. We're gonna spray our griddle down. Again, we're at a medium-high temperature. Just a little bit of vegetable oil. You can use all sorts of different oils. Some people mix it up. Avocado oil, duck fat. I mean, the sky is the limit. So we're gonna go ahead. And we're just going to let that go for a couple minutes, and then we'll get that off. So, got our butter melting. We'll drizzle that over kind of near the end, but let that melt. We'll go from there. All right, got that beautiful sizzle on that Traeger Flatrock that we're rocking. We got our butter melting down with a little bit of lemon. We're just gonna let these go a little bit, start to cook, get those. Again, I'm looking for about a 130, 135. Some people like them a little bit more done. Again, cook them to what kind of temperature you're comfortable with in your preference. But again, I like that lower temp, especially on this seafood. You know it's really good quality. It's good stuff. You're going to be all right. So, just kind of checking on them occasionally, just checking to kind of see what kind of color we're getting on them, how they're looking. Again, those are just going to go for a few minutes. And then we'll kind of flip them over, kind of play around with some different sides on them. Then we'll drizzle some butter over that, the lemon butter over it. And then we will kind of go from there. And again, the griddle's a great place. You can definitely, put stuff like this on here, heat it up, melt your butter. Some people even do frying foods, getting a little pan, heating up the oil and frying stuff. So we got that going. And again, we're just going to kind of be checking our temperatures on and off. I really like the meter, but I'm not going to leave a meter in this cook because it's just kind of a quick cook. So I'm just kind of sticking in a temp. You can see, we're right around 90 degrees. So we got a little bit more ways to go, not a whole lot. So just kind of continue to let these go. Again, we're on that medium-high heat. We're just going to kind of let that go. Once it reaches probably about 115 or so, we're going to go ahead. We will flip that over, and then we'll drizzle that with our butter. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pull that off just so it doesn't get too overcooked here. And again, if you're doing that content creation, always get lots of video. I can't recommend that enough. You never know that, 5-second clip might be the one that changes your whole trajectory of your page and blows it up. For me, it was a steak slicing video, really simple as some tri-tip. Nothing fancy. It caught people's eye and kind of led to everything else. So, definitely try and get as much footage as possible and really see it. So again, if you're just jumping on, be sure to follow the page. Be sure to go check out Instagram. Be sure to check out Facebook. Would not be here without all of you guys. So again, we're just kind of getting some nice color on this. I'm just looking get these. So we're still in about right around high 90s almost on this. So let that go a little bit longer. And then we will hit that with our lemon butter. And again, we're cooking to temp. A lot of people always ask, how long does this take? And I can definitely give you a rough idea of how long it's going to be, but the best thing is, really cook to temperature, especially for me, because I'm cooking at altitude, so things are going to cook differently here than they would at sea level or even at places with different elevation. Plus, also, a lot of times you're cooking an animal, so not every cow is going to be the same. Not every pig is going to be the same. So just because that one brisket, was a 10-hour brisket, doesn't mean the next one's going to be 10 hours. It could be 12 hours. So really just watching that temp, making sure you're getting that nice temp with everything, and just kind of really seeing what you're doing with that temperature, because that's really going to help you dial in your cooking and just getting it to that awesome temperature. So, getting some nice color on there. Again, I'm just going to kind of check the temp. And we're approaching it. I'm just going to rotate these back a little bit, and I'm going to start to get some more footage in a minute of flipping them, and then we will drizzle them with that butter, and we'll get them on a plate, make it look all pretty, and kind of show you a little bit of that plating and a little bit behind the scenes with that. And also with the lobster, you can see as it kind of starts to curl a little bit, that's how you know it's getting cooked too. It will kind of curl as that meat tightens up a little bit. And there we go. So, got those positioned. Let's get them a little bit differently this time. Let's get them like this. They got some nice color on them. Again, as you can see, a little bit different temperature ranges on there. So, want to play around with that. So next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit these with our lemon butter. Just kind of drizzle it over, and then we will finish these off. Let's rock. I wish we had smell-o-vision because it smells incredible with that lemon and butter. I like doing this on the griddle. Obviously, not all of it's going to get in the shell. It's okay. It's not perfect. But I wish you could smell this. It's smelling fantastic. Because we can, a little fresh squeeze of a little bit more lemon. And you know, just to make our plating a little bit more fancy, we're just going to kind of throw these down on the griddle. Just give it a little bit of color, kind of warm them up, give it a little bit of extra pop. Kind of add some nice fun, just like texture. Just kind of adds a little bit different to our photos. Kind of that charred lemon looks great. We're right around 130, right around one high 120, 130, 130s. We're looking great. We're ready to rock and roll. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take my lemons off. I got some great color on there that I wanted. And again, it's these simple kind of things that'll really take your pictures, take your videos kind of to that next level, figuring out what you can do. And then it's always about plating. Kind of figuring out how you're going to plate it. Again, there's no right or wrong way. There's lots of different ways to plate it. Definitely play around, try different plates, try different things if you have the time, and kind of go from there. All right, so we got our plate set up. We're going to start with our plating. Now we're going to figure out how to get this looking nice. That's kind of the next part of this cooking, is getting this looking really nice. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go grab a paper towel and go from there. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna kind of wipe this, kind of make it look pretty. You can kind of see it, and then we have that lemon to kind of finish it off. I always ask other people's advice. In my case, my wife. She knows everything. Okay. Come back through. Again, taking that extra time to clean up your plating, even though it's just for your family and friends, or just for a simple picture, helps a lot with your plating, will help a lot with your pictures, just kind of gives it that nice little pop. So, not going to be perfect. The lighting is definitely getting much darker right now because of it's going to hail and all that good stuff. Go ahead, we're going to put our limes. No. Sorry, lemons. I keep calling them limes. I don't know why. So, got that. Little greenery. Makes it look all nice and pretty. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to I might hit it with some sea salt. Let's go ahead, take some photos again, kind of play around with it, kind of see what we're working with. So I'm shooting on my iPhone 15. Nothing super fancy. Again, pollen has been really bad this year, so that's always been hard to keep everything perfect. So I'm just going to get a couple shots. I shoot in portrait, and then I also just kind of shoot in regular photo. Of course, the lighting just got really bad. The clouds just came in, the storm's moving in. And again, just trying to get some video footage, and again, just taking that extra couple seconds. Getting some extra footage will help a lot. So if your shot didn't really come out the way you wanted it, you can definitely have some options to play with. And this is a cherry wood smoked salt from Jacobson. I'm just going to kind of do a little salt bay. Kind of give it over the top. And then again, we're just going to kind of repeat, take some pictures, kind of see what comes out. I know you probably won't be able to see it. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to move this to the ground so you can... And again, play around with what you have. You know, if you have, you know, kind of a cool looking backsplash in the kitchen, if you have kind of a fun concrete stamp patio like I do, you know, I want to use that to my advantage, you know, make it kind of stand out, do some different things. Again, I'm kind of moving a little quick, but again, as you can see, I'm just kind of getting some different footage, making sure that I capture a lot of just different angles, so when I go back and I edit my video, I just have some choices, so I just am not stuck with that one shot. So there is our smoked, grilled lobster tails are not smoked. So we again put them on the Traeger Flatrock, medium high, about 5-6 minutes. They hit about mid 130s. We griddled up a little bit of lemon just to give it a little bit of color. Finished it off with some smoked cherry wood salt. And this is a great one, especially with Father's Day coming up. Highly recommend it. Super easy meal. As you can see, it's going to impress people. Looks fantastic. So let's go ahead. Let's get the griddle cleaned up real quick, and then we're going to go ahead and do those salmon collars. All right, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to run into the garage real quick, grab my scraper, and we'll go from there. All right, so I just have a scraper. I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to kind of scrape this. If anything gets stuck on your griddle, you know, definitely, you know, butter, all those other fats definitely help. So I'm just scraping this in, and we're just going to go right into that little grease thing right there. What I like too is if you're doing like bacon and beef, like you can definitely use those fats to your advantage, and you know, cook some of your potatoes in that beef fat. Cook some of your vegetables in that beef fat, some of that bacon fat, and some different stuff. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. We're getting a little smoky. And as you can see, this is basically what I do afterwards. You can see some of that coloring. I'm just going to hit that with a little more oil later on, just kind of get it re-seasoned. But a really simple clean. It's nothing too complicated. Just kind of nice and easy for the Flatrock. And again, just a simple scraper, nothing fancy, just giving it a nice clean look. All right, so next we have those salmon collars that we have been marinating. I was gonna try and flip it, I remember it was a little weird. All right, so we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna do the salmon collars. Let me just do this. Let me get in the frame. Simple, okay, you can see it's set up. I have my ironwood over here. Hopefully I'm not. So, we're going to go ahead, we're going to do our salmon collars. We hit those up with a little bit of rice vinegar, our Spiceology seasoning, and our Traeger original Japanese barbecue. They've been marinating since the beginning of this video, so about 30 minutes now, probably 20-30 minutes or so. Definitely you can go a little bit longer on that, and again, we're just going to go hot and fast on those again. We're just kind of looking for about that 130 temp, 135. Got our fish wings. We'll probably post these on Wednesday because that'll be awesome. As you can see, the pollen's really bad. We got so much. Again, you know, it's a kitchen. It's going to get dirty. It's going to have a lot of stuff happening, but I try and, you know, kind of have it a little as clean as possible. So when I'm getting that footage, it doesn't look super dirty. It has the appearance that it is kind of clean, but you're seeing the raw. You're seeing the unedited, side of everything. You're seeing me going back and forth from the kitchen. You're seeing me go back and forth to the garage, clean things off. That's what I do, especially with two little ones. I definitely try and get in, 2-3 cooks when I can, just so I have that content. So we got this nice and hot. I'm gonna go ahead. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab those salmon collars, then I'm gonna grab a plate, and then we're gonna cook these up, and then we're gonna see how these turn out. They're gonna be awesome. I love these salmon collars. They are a treat. Okay. So let's get you have a perfect sizzling view of what's gonna go on. Be back. All right, so we got our salmon collars here, been marinating. Again, you can marinate these longer, definitely let them get some flavor. We're just kind of looking for that kind of getting you some content, showing you some behind the scenes stuff. I had my wife kind of move them around a little bit. She also told me I wasn't really fully in that live shot where I was talking, so you didn't see my head. You kind of saw a weird view. But again, this is that behind the scenes. This is that quick. This is what, as you can see how fast things move, how fast I'm trying to get shots. So as you see with this, I'm getting ready. In my hand, I have my tongs. I have my vegetable oil ready. In my other hand, I have my phone. I'm getting ready, when I put those on, I can get some nice footage of it. I'm kind of also noticing the lighting. It's gotten darker. The clouds have rolled in. It's gotten darker. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to try turning on the lights and see how it goes. Definitely recommend always playing around with lighting. Don't be afraid to try some new things. I'll show you at the end of the live, but I have these overhead lights. So you can see, nice, got real nice and bright. Ready to go. You can see, of course, I have stuff behind the grill. Again, this is what it is really like. It's not always that perfect view that you see behind the scenes. So again, a little bit of oil. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get these salmon collars on. So again, you know the drill. We got our camera. We have our salmon collars over here, and I'm gonna get these down and get these ready to rock and roll. So get those. All right. Again, I wish you could smell this. You do need smell-o-vision. It smells fantastic. We have that barbecue, the Japanese barbecue sauce. And as that Japanese barbecue sauce kind of, doesn't burn, but as it kind of caramelizes on the grill, you're going to get that really nice sweetness. You're going to get some great color on your... And I'm going to go ahead. Notice we're not sticking, which is good. You're going to see some caramelization. Might be a little bit, some people might say burn, but I think it's okay. We're getting a dark color again. That's from our barbecue sauce, so we're going to get that there. And again, we can kind of play around with it. And again, it might not work out. I might decide later it was too dark, there was too much sauce, maybe too much heat. Again, I'm rocking medium. I'm rocking about a medium-high heat on this. So, yeah, we're definitely, you can see that it's real. This is what really happens. We have this Japanese barbecue sauce that caramelizes, and so that's why we have that darker color on there. And we're just going to kind of go with this and just kind of rotate that through. and just kind of play around with it, get some nice color on these, and then we'll go from there. So, again, on these, we're looking for about that 130. To about that 135 temp. These will cook pretty quick. Again, this is a really great cut of fish. Again, just kind of like the salmon, you know, we're still, you know, it's early in the cook, but we're still approaching right around the high 90s already on these. So I'm kind of adjusting with this. So as you can see, you know, I got a little bit maybe too much color, so I'm going to try and just kind of keep them moving a little bit. I did turn down the grill a little bit in temperature-wise. We're only at about a medium heat now. I'm just getting some color. It'll still be fine. That darker color is just because of that barbecue sauce. Just really kind of caramelizing really quickly. But there is a good amount of meat on there, so you're not going to get that burned flavor. You're going to get a really nice, rich flavor with that. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of turn that. And again, you can kind of see how this is looking. We're just kind of hitting that quickly. Getting that, you can see it's kind of starting to get nice and flaky as we go through there. Again, monitoring the temps. Again, this is what's going to be really important is the temperature. Again, I could tell you, 5 minutes aside, but it's going to vary from cook to cook. Since we have this, we're going to do a little bit of lemon. Just give a little bit of a squeeze of lemon. Add that little pop of flavor. Have those available. And again, that content is going to be really important to capture. So, while this is sizzling, that would make a great story. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get some content. So as you can see, we're just kind of capturing that content as we go. Just kind of going with it. So again, the point of this live is to kind of give you some behind the scenes, what it really looks like. It's not a perfect process. Cooks don't always go as planned. As you can see, I got a little bit more color than I wanted on this, and that's okay. That happens. I'm getting really close on these. I'm going to go ahead and kind of give those one last little flip. You can go ahead if you want. You can kind of play around with some of that char, kind of manipulate it a little bit. You can see it's kind of sticky. You can kind of spread it out. It's got that nice sugar in it, so I'm trying to just make it a little bit, and then you can see we got the nice flakiness there, right? So that's great. Then we're going to go ahead. We're going to plate these up, and then we will call these done. We got a storm coming in. So it's good. We are almost done today. I appreciate everyone checking this out, taking time out of their day to check out the live, see kind of that behind the scenes. This is a new thing I'm trying. If you like it, definitely let me know. If you want to see more like this, it definitely takes a little bit of planning. It takes a little bit of time to do this. We're at about an hour. So you can see it does take some time to get kind of this whole process. But again, I kind of want to show you some of that really good stuff, show you some of that behind the scenes stuff, kind of that you normally don't get to see, because usually all we get to see is that pretty finished picture, that pretty finished cook, and it doesn't really tell the whole story. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to pull these off. And again, like you can notice, it might not be perfect. It might not have that perfect color, but that's life, that's Instagram, that's cooking. It's not going to be a perfect process all of the time. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to plate this up. Get these on there, and there you go. And then we're going to work some photo magic. Get that going. It worked for the lobster, so let's do it again. Let's just do a couple little lemons. Again, just kind of what we have, playing around with it, getting kind of that nice little touch, giving it some awesome, just a little bit of just different color, just trying to add something different to the photo to kind of contrast that meat against. And again, play around with some of that different stuff in your photos and your videos. It's kind of fun, just keeps things interesting, but also will... You'll notice some different things. I could even kind of just, if I wanted to, just kind of add a little bit of color to the skin so it's not going to be as yellow, kind of get more, you know, just some contrast in there. Those things definitely help our pictures pop a little bit. I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to plate these on my plate. And it actually looks really good. I'm really happy with how this is. You know, we definitely have a little bit more caramelization than maybe I would prefer sometimes. But I think overall it's a great dish. Super simple, nothing fancy. We have 3 ingredients in our marinade. We let that marinate. And then you know the drill. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna capture some magic. You know, we gotta keep that content train rolling. So we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get some pictures in here. Of course, get that video. As you can see, I'm just kind of moving it around in some different ways. Again, since I have that stamped patio, I'm just going to put it on the ground over here. Got a camera for a minute. So we have our marinated salmon collars with a little bit of griddle lemon. Again, 3 simple ingredients. We have our Bachon's Original. We have our Smashin' Salmon from Spiceology. And we have our rice vinegar. Let that marinate. We put them on the griddle there for a few minutes. Got them up to that temperature. Again, cooking to that temperature is important. Got it to about that 130. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be great. Later on, I mean, I don't have my fork with me, but you can see we're nice and flaky. Falling apart just right. Got great color on there. And again, if you haven't had this part of salmon, it is definitely a treat. It's definitely super rich, packed with a lot of flavor. It's really good. It's awesome. It's really rich. All right, before I jump off, let's clean the griddle again real quick, because I know that's what people always have a lot of questions about, is how do you clean your griddle? How do you keep it clean? Now, you got to keep this stuff clean. So, again, just kind of what we did with the lobster, we're just going to do our scraper. And again, we're cooking stuff with sugar and all sorts of different stuff. So we're going to have stuff stuck a little bit more. If you notice stuff is getting stuck, a little bit of water you can dump on there, and it'll help loosen it up a little bit and kind of keep it. I've turned the griddle down to low. And again, I'm just kind of scraping this in. And I'm just getting this kind of, you know, pretty clean. Trying to get all that hard stuff off so that I have a nice surface that I can work with later. But when I come back, I don't have to do too much cleaning with this. So the last step I'm going to do is I'm going to run inside. I'm going to grab a little bit of oil, and I'm just going to put a little bit of oil on this, kind of let that heat up for a couple minutes, and then we will call it good with that. But let's do that last step. All right, got a little bit of oil. Just gonna kind of go on there. Just kind of get some of that coating back a little bit. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect, as you can see. I'm just gonna kind of rotate it through. Just kind of get some of that. You can see that color fading away. Getting that seasoning back on there. And again, it's getting pretty close. I've done some pretty big cooks on this, so I'm getting pretty close for a deeper clean. But that's basically what I do to clean it. And then I will turn it off and we will be good to go. Again, super simple, but it is important. Definitely take care of your stuff. And let's see, I didn't have myself in the view last time. So let's put this up higher. So that's the trigger. And let's get it go back. I should be visible in that. I don't think I'm taller than that. All right, so you saw today we did 2 awesome cooks again, trying out something new. I wanted to kind of do a live that was different. My idea was we usually see a lot of the picture perfect world. We don't see too much of the behind the scenes, or when we do, it's an outtake video and not too much. You know, we see the Food Network stuff that's just pretty and perfect, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and that's what I was hoping to show you today. I hope to do more of these. If you liked it, definitely check it out. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Check out the shorts. Leave a comment. Share it with someone. That goes a long way. It means a ton. Go check out the Instagram page. And again, I would not be here without all of your support. So thank you so much for tuning in. Those of you who watch the whole thing, I greatly appreciate it. Definitely share it with people. Like it. Let's blow this video up. Let's get 100,000 views on this live when it's all said and done in a week. Let's go back, let's watch it again. If you have any questions, be sure to reach out. Always happy to help you in any way you can. And again, I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get this griddle turned off here. Turn off our propane. And then I get the joy of that fun stuff that you don't see, which is all of this. That behind the scenes magic. All right, everyone, I appreciate it more than you know. Again, gonna keep on saying it because it is super important. Like the page, leave a comment, share this with someone, all of that good stuff. It means a ton. Take care. I will catch y'all later.